Hello, right, so what we're going to do here is try to code as quickly as possible a kind of asteroids style game. And I'm just having a look at my clock. Let's try and keep this video to about, well, as quickly as possible, so certainly under half an hour. So a simplified asteroids game. So what have we got? We've got some kind of ship. I think it's a triangle shape. I've forgotten how to do a triangle. I'm using, by the way, the P5 library, good old JavaScript. So we need a triangle ship. We can shoot, and of course we got the asteroids. And if you remember the mechanic of the game, when you hit an asteroid, then the asteroid kind of fragments, and you get like smaller asteroids, baby asteroids, and then you can shoot those. And that becomes quite dangerous because they're quite small and they can hit your ship. So using P5, the first function we're going to have is setup. So that's where the program will start, and then we need our game loop, which is called draw. There we go. So we've got our basics going. So we need to create a canvas first of all, and to take the current window width, you can just use the keywords window width, window height, and then we need, I guess the first thing we need to do is draw space. The original asteroids was kind of like black, but it'd be really nice to have some stars. So let's make some stars. So first a background. A background will be black. There we go. And now we need to make some stars. Let's start things tidy and make a proper function to do that. So make stars. There we go. Lovely. And we want to call that in our setup. Make stars, and maybe we'll include this in here. Right, plop that in there. So we've got black background, and then for loop. How many stars do we need? Let's try while I is less than 99 stars. Let's try, and then what we're gonna do here is maybe draw a point. I think you can use the point function, is that right, in P5, and you just give it a location. So here we're just going to go math random and scale that up to the width of the screen. Again, P5 keyword width will just take whatever screen size you've chosen in pixels, and then we need the Y location as well. I'm using math random because it's faster than P5's random function, as far as I know. There we are. So we've got our point. I think that's all I need for point. Of course, I need to tell the point what color to be. So we want stroke. Weight first of all. I think you can go less than one. But we'll stay with one. Stroke weight, and then just in case we use stroke weight later on, and then stroke color. Kind of want a shimmery kind of blue and white. So we'll start with white, and then maybe we can thinking we're going to plop this into the draw loop. This make stars, so we could shimmer them by deciding what frame we're in. So if frame count, that's a P5 function again. So we've got, and that will return the frame count. Sorry, it's a variable, sorry, not a function. Frame count, if frame count modulo, I don't know, every 100 frames equals 0, then we want it to go blue. We want the star to be kind of a blue. So no red, no green, and bright blue. We'll try that. Else, we'll just have the star coloured white. Okay, there we go. We'll save that, and let's just run this, make this live. So using the Chrome browser, I can see blue stars, maybe too blue. maybe I need to say every thousand frames. Oh no, sorry, of course. We've just called this function once, so I'll revert that to 100, and then we want to call make stars, Control C, in the draw loop. Oh no, I'm going to randomize them every single time. Okay, so you just want to set up the stars first. No, oh no, we're going to have to actually make we're going to have to record where they are. Wait a minute. What should I do here? Oh, we could just say if this is the first time, so if the frame count, I'll say, is less than 2, then here we want to decide our star locations. So we can make a very simple object. Let's make him down here, star object. So we need I don't need to make it this elaborate, this object. Function star. Then all it needs is a position. So we'll store that in a vector. So this pos equals create vector. That's P5's function again, create vector. And then here, actually, we can, yes, we can borrow this code. Where's it gone? There we go. So when we initialize a star, it will already have its custom made X and Y location. There we go. So then when we draw the point, we should have a function to draw the star itself. Oh, I've got to create stars here rather than draw them. What am I doing? Right, let's make stars. Let's create these stars. Up here, if frame count is less than 2, then let's make some stars. For I equals 0. I've just realised I've not even begun making proper asteroids yet. I'm just adding to it. Right, while I is less than, how many stars do I want? 99 stars. That didn't look enough. Let's say 333, and then in this for loop, we now want to push our stars to an array. So let's make an array stars. Now we can reference our stars array using the push function there. And what do we want to push? We want to push a new star, capital S, which is a convention if you've made an object, star, and that's it. There we go. So if the frame count is less than 2, we'll initialize our 333 stars. Otherwise, this function is simply going to paint the background black. It's then going to make sure we're using a stroke weight of 1, which is very small. Then we're going to look at whether we want our star white or blue, and then we're going to draw our point. So we want it to be stars I pos X, and then the equivalent for the Y. Okay, and we want to do this a little dynamically, so the length of that array. There we go. Okay. Okay. I've made objects to just create some stars. So make stars. So I've called that function now. Control save. So not control, I'm on a Mac, command save. Okay, we've got some stars. They mostly look white. There's no bugs otherwise. Maybe that number's way too low. So every 100th frame, it's going to be blue. So we didn't see any blue, so let's make that smaller. I just wanted like a little shimmery little. Okay, they still don't really look blue. I don't know. Every other frame. I don't know what that looks like. Oh, that kind of looks okay. It kind of looks a bit messy. Okay, let's abandon ship here. Comment that out. We'll just have white stars and think about aesthetics later. Or not at all. So we just got white stars. That's quite nice. We've got constant stars. Okay. I'll think about twinkling if we have time at the end. What's the time? 12 minutes I think I've been going already. 12 minutes. I've not accomplished anything. So let's get asteroids moving across the screen. So let's simplify these as circles. I've got my draw function all the way down here. I'm just going to bring it up next to setup, so we know where things are. So we should have our global variables at the top, setup, draw, a game loop, other functions, and then at the bottom, I don't know if this is everyone's convention, but I tend to have objects if I'm using them in the same file, which you shouldn't do. You should put objects in other files. But if not, I put them down the bottom. So we've got our stars. Right, we want asteroids. Okay, function asteroid. There we go. So in the original Asteroids game, they're kind of drawn as an irregular shape. I'm just going to go for an ellipse. In fact, a circle. So what do we want? We want a position, and that's going to be a vector. And they slide around, I think, at a constant speed. So we do need some basic physics. And the ship glides around and accelerates and rotates. So we do need some basic physics. So this position, we're going to need this velocity. And if you just leave the parentheses empty in P5's create vector, it will default to 0, 0. Velocity, this acceleration. Do we need... We could just have the asteroids at a constant velocity. There we go. So we just need velocity, position, and radius. And the radius, even now, we could think about this. Random, so a range wants to be, I don't know, 100, or up to 100, size 100, and then add on 10. So it's no smaller than 10, up to 100. Okay, right. So we need to give this this asteroid object now a functionality, some functionality. So we want to be able to see it. Just remember my syntax here. So I'm going to use a prototype chain to render. So what do we want to do? Do we want to decide its color at the beginning? We could have different colored ones, I suppose. Let's just make them all the same color. Brown, we'll kind of go for a brown color, or maybe a gray. Let's go for gray. So fill gray, I don't know, about 72. Let's go for a nice Daniel Schiffman 51. There we are. And then stroke weight, let's change that now. 3, so that's kind of cartoony. And then stroke itself, that wants to be white still. I'm thinking a bright blue might be nice, but let's just stick with white. So we sorted out our colours, how it's going to look, and then we want to draw the ellipse itself. It's going to be a circle, so we might not see any rotation. If we had rotation, we might save the current coordinate matrix, and then pop afterwards. If you're rotating things, that's what you want to be doing, which we might have to see when we draw the ship. So let's just draw an ellipse, and so you have to, this is a p5 function, ellipse again. So you want to you pass in the position and the radius for an ellipse. Oh no, the diameter, sorry, for the x and the y. So we want twice those values. So in fact, radius, let's find that up here. So diameter equals the radius minus 2. So we just calculate that once up here, and we're not recalculating it every single time in the render function. So for efficiency, so this pos x, this pos y, so the size, this dia, there we go, this dia, brilliant. Right, we should have an ellipse. What else does the asteroid need to do? It needs to move. So asteroid prototype, we could call it move, let's call it space glide. I want you to space glide, get my syntax wrong, function. I like to bring that to the top of the screen, there we go, right. So we want a constant velocity, so we're just going to add the velocity to the position, which are both vectors. So to add one vector to another, we can do this, position, add, I want to add this velocity. There we go. That should be all there is to it. All there is to it. Right. So we're probably going to have an asteroid array. We've got a star array, asteroids, and then we want to create an asteroid, or create an array of asteroids, and then set each of them with a random vector, sliding through space, and we want to wrap them across the screen. So if they disappear off the top of the screen, appears at the same x but at the bottom of the screen. Let's sort that out now. And that's going to be the same for the ship. So we might be able to kill two birds with one stone. So we won't make a function attached to this object, but a more general function that can accept any object with a position vector, and it sorts its screen slide out. I think this will work. So function screen wrap, and we want to pass into this an object. Oh, I don't have to type it in JavaScript, do I? It's just ob. There we go, ob for an object. And we want to say if the object's position x is less than, we'll give it a proper buffer, so we'll say is less than 0 minus, we could just say minus 0 minus this object's, object's radius. Yes, that's right. Position x will be in the middle of the object. So if it's less than that, then we want the object's position x to equal, yes, we can put the equivalent, equals the width plus this object's radius. There we go. So we want to do the exact same for the other end. So if its x is greater than the width plus its radius, if then its x is going to be 0 minus the radius. 0 minus the radius, is that right? Minus the radius. And now for y. So if this object's position y is less than 0 minus object's position y, less than that minus this object's radius. Then keep saying right, I'll try to stop saying that. This position y equals height plus the object's radius. I'm finding this very difficult to think through, and it's very, well, it should be fairly simple. Maybe just trying to do that at speed while talking. Right, so this y is greater than the height plus our object's position. No. Our object's radius. Then our object needs to appear at the top. So its position y must equal 0 minus the object's radius. Which I'm slowing down to type. There we go. So. Right. So let's get some asteroids on screen. So we've got our asteroid. Array. So let's make asteroids. So all this wants to do is create instances of those asteroids objects, and then let them fly. In draw, we want to pass the asteroids into our screen wrap function. Hopefully that'll be working. So we've already drawn our asteroid. So we literally just have to make them. Let's get going. Make the asteroids. Do it here. Function. Make asteroids. And I suppose we could pass in a number of asteroids. So we just need a for loop again, very similar to how we made the stars. So I equals 0, while I is less than the number of asteroids that we want. I'm sure there's a shortcut to make a for loop. If you know it and anyone watches this, put it in the comments. That'd be great. I'm sure there's a shortcut to make a for loop. It'd be really cool. Right. So we want asteroids. So that's our array, and we want to push a new ast. I think I called him. There we go. Make a new ast. Yes, I don't have to pass anything in. And it decides its random position automatically. We don't have a random velocity. Let's do that down here. So velocity equals create random. Create. Oh no, we didn't. We haven't got a random position yet. I'm sure I did that. Nope. Oh, why didn't I copy the whole thing? There we go. Right. So it's got random. Our asteroid's got a random position. Now it needs a random vector speed. So this needs to be a little different. So it wants to be. Could be. I think 10 is quite a big number. So we'll say 10 and then minus 5. So a minus number in terms of this velocity vector will mean going, say, left or up as opposed to right or down. And we need to do that twice, of course. So that's taking care of the x-axis, and this will be the y. And I'm just going to straighten those up, right, because I'm not against the clock or anything. Okay, I'm not against the clock. I just said I'll try and do it in less than half an hour, which I think it's been 25 minutes. I think it's been 25 minutes. I can't remember what time I started now. Right, 25 minutes. Let's get some asteroids. If I get some asteroids on the screen, I can't stop there. I need a ship as well, don't I? Right. What have I done? I've just created some asteroids. No, I haven't. I've got them, given them a random. Have they got a movement? Yes, we've got movement. Okay, you should be able to see them. They should be able to move. They should screen wrap. I've just got a call make asteroids. I've called that. I've just got to call this in the draw loop. So let's, where's the draw loop? Should be up here underneath setup. So make the stars first, that will be the background. Then you want to update asteroids. Okay, so we're going to have a for loop in here, function, update asteroids, now for, and then I'm just going to go for A. I'm going to go for A here. Let A equal 0, while A is less than the asteroids array length, increment A, and then what do we want to do? We want to reference each asteroid A, and then space glide. I was looking for move. There we go. We want space glide. I want to wrap him asteroids A. Oh no, that isn't a function of belonging to the object itself. So screen wrap. So then you just pass in. The current asteroid that we're talking about, and screen wrap should take care of everything else. And then screen wrap again, just to be sure. No, then we want to draw him, which I call render. There we go. Okay, we've called that in the draw loop, so I assume this will just work first time. We'll have stars, we'll have empty space, no asteroids whatsoever. Something's gone wrong. Right, so Command Alt. Oh no, this is even worse. No bugs. No bugs. I'm not even getting an inkling up here of what I've done wrong. Update asteroids. Okay, let's check. What did I call it? Asteroids. Made. So start from the beginning. Setup. Make asteroids. Let's go to make asteroids. Oh, didn't specify a number of asteroids. Let's try 7. Okay, so there were no bugs last time, but nothing was working anyway. So, oh wow. Okay, we've got some asteroids. Oh, they look pretty good. That's a Daniel Schiffman Grey right there. Okay, we've got asteroids. They look lovely. We've got space. It's like we're in space. Let's get a ship. Let's get a ship going. I'm going to need collision detection. I feel confident about collision detection today. So, part 1. Shall I stop here? And then make part 2 later? Yeah, we'll stop here. So we've got space. Let's just run it again. So thank you very much if anyone watched. There you go. That's how to make space. In about, I don't know how long. We've maybe here in 73 hours we've made this approximately. Have a lovely evening. Might make part 2 where we've got a ship and shooting, lasers, definitely lasers. Good night.